Hi, hello, welcome to my channel. Today in this session we will see the gametogenesis process. In the previous session already we have discussed about the female reproductive system. So first of all, what is gametogenesis? So gametogenesis means formation of gametes in the gonads. Gonads means testis and ovary, right? So formation of gametes is called what? Gametogenesis. In the males, gamete formation is called spermatogenesis, and in the female it is called oogenesis. Okay. Now let's try to understand the spermatogenesis process which occurs in the male reproductive system, right? It is the process of formation of sperms or spermatozoa in seminiferous tubules of the testis. So in the male reproductive system, testes are the primary reproductive organs, we know that. In the testis, seminiferous tubules are there. In the seminiferous tubules, these sperm cells will be formed. So this process, the spermatogenesis process, occurs in the seminiferous tubules of the testis. Okay. Here we can observe some stages in the spermatogenesis process. First, formation of the spermatids. First, what happens? Spermatids will be formed. Then these spermatids, they undergo the maturation process. Then they develop like a complete spermatozoa or sperm cells. This process is called spermatogenesis process. Okay, let's try to understand first formation of the spermatids. From the spermatogonia mother cells are there in the seminiferous tubules. They produce first spermatids, but these spermatids are not mature sperm cells. Okay, so these spermatids transform into mature sperm cells or spermatozoa cells. So this transformation is called spermatogenesis process. Okay, what it is called? Spermatogenesis. Okay, let's try to understand very clear this spermatogenesis process. Spermatogonium. This spermatogonia mother cell present in the seminiferous tubule, which is diploid in condition. Okay, diploid condition spermatogonium mother cells are there in the seminiferous tubules. So they undergo the mitosis process. Which process? Mitosis process. We know if one cell undergoes the mitosis process, we can get the two cells. Okay, diploid cells only. Yes, we got the diploid cells here, right? So these diploid cells are called primary spermatocytes. What are these called? Primary spermatocytes. These are called primary spermatocytes. Each primary spermatocyte undergoes the meiosis process. If one primary spermatocyte undergoes the meiosis process, what happens? We can get the secondary spermatocyte cells. If one primary spermatocyte undergoes the meiosis process, meiosis 1, then we will get what? How many number of secondary spermatocytes? 2 secondary spermatocytes we will get. But these secondary spermatocyte cells are haploid in condition. Which condition? Haploid in condition. Means the number of chromosomes are off in these cells compared to the primary spermatocytes. Okay. Then each secondary spermatocytes again undergo the meiosis 2. Means meiosis 2 cell division continues. Then what happens? From each secondary spermatocyte we will get 2 cells. Okay. Means from 2 secondary spermatocyte cell, how many we will get? 4 spermatid cells we will get. How many spermatids? 4 spermatids. These spermatids are also haploid in condition. So this process occurs. Then these spermatids, they differentiate, they mature like sperm cells. Okay. Then these are called spermatozoa cells or sperm cells. Right, this process occurs in the spermatogenesis process. These stages are there in the spermatogenesis process. We have to understand. First, spermatogonium undergoes the mitosis process. It forms spermatocytes. Then spermatocytes undergo the meiosis 1. Then secondary spermatocytes will be formed. Then secondary spermatocytes undergo the meiosis 2. Then they give the spermatids. From one primary spermatocyte we will get the 4 spermatids. From 2 secondary spermatids we will get spermatocytes we will get the 4 spermatids. This you have to remember. Okay, right, look at this. You can understand very clearly here. One primary spermatocyte can give how many secondary spermatocytes? 2. But primary spermatocytes is the diploid in condition. Secondary spermatocytes are the haploid in condition. Okay. If one spermatocyte undergo the meiosis 2, then how many spermatids we are getting? 2. From one secondary spermatocyte we are getting 2. Already here two secondary spermatocytes are there. So then how many spermatids we will get from the one primary spermatocyte? 4. From two secondary spermatocytes also 4 only. Okay, means one primary spermatocyte gives 4 spermatids, two secondary spermatocytes gives 4 spermatids only. Means finally we will get the 4 spermatids. Okay, a primary spermatocyte gives how many spermatids? 4 spermatids. Okay, now after this spermatid process, means spermatid development, this spermatid development is called what? Spermatogenesis. After this spermatid formation, sperms keep their eggs or embedded their eggs in the serotoly cells, and they get the nourishment, they get the food, and then they get complete matured ones. So they get matured. So then this process, then they are released into where? Seminiferous tubules, lumen of the seminiferous tubules. Then this process, releasing of the matured sperm cells into the lumen of the seminiferous tubules, is called spermiation process. This you have to remember. Look at this diagram, you can understand very clearly. So spermatids generally they are keeping their eggs in the serotoly cells, and they are getting matured, and finally what happened? They are released into the lumen of the seminiferous tubule. This process is called spermiation process. Okay, in this spermatogenesis process, what is the role of hormones? Let us try to understand. Okay, role of hormones in the spermatogenesis. Hypothalamus is there in the brain, we know that. What is there? Hypothalamus. This hypothalamus secretes gonadotropin releasing hormones, GnRH, gonadotropin releasing hormone. These gonadotropin releasing hormone acts on the pituitary. Pituitary releases what? Gonadotropins. What are the gonadotropins? Luteinizing hormone and FSH, follicle stimulating hormone. This luteinizing hormone acts on the Leydig cells in the testis, and these Leydig cells can secrete what? Androgens. Androgens like testosterone like hormones. Then what happens? It stimulates the spermatogenesis process. Spermato means sperm cell formation process will be stimulated by these androgens. Let us try to understand the FSH function. FSH acts on the serotoly cells, and these serotoly cells they secrete some factors which help in the spermiogenesis. Means in the previous slide already we have observed. So here look at this slide. Sperm cells are keeping their eggs in the serotoly cells, and they are getting matured. They are provided, okay, they are nourished by the food. So then what happens? After getting matured, after nourishment, they are released into the lumen of the seminiferous tubule. Means spermiation process. This spermiation process is stimulated by what? Serotoly cells. Means serotoly cells act, follicle stimulating hormone act on the serotoly cells, and these serotoly cells provide the nourishment. Then what happens? Spermiogenesis process takes place. Okay, this is the role of hormones in the spermatogenesis process. I hope you understood this. If you like this session, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you. In the next session, we will try to understand the oogenesis process.